So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And right now, we are on our next tech session, which is on redefined cybersecurity with a compliant hybrid workspace. Well, we've got with us our speaker, Vijayendra Yadav, CEO, CTO, and co-founder ACOPS, joining us. Well, Vijayendra has more than 17 years of experience in product development and technical product marketing in enterprise mobility and virtualization domain. He's an engineer, entrepreneur, chief customer advocate, product manager, pre-sales guy, UX enthusiast, and strives to deliver quality products. Well, with this, I'd now like to welcome Mr. Vijayendra Yadav on your stage and screen. Hello, Vijayendra. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks, Bhavna. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm great. Good to have you at the World Cybersecurity Summit. Over to you, Vijayendra.
Thank you, Bhavna. Let me share my screen here.
Sure.
Okay, let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Over
Okay, great. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is safe and healthy in this pandemic time. And we're all of us are in together in this pandemic. The way it started in around Feb 2020. And the moment it hit, right, everybody went into a crisis mode, responding to this sudden event which we have never experienced. And the first response from the IT team was to use whatever tools that are available with the organizations, to make sure that the workforce can work from home, they are safe, and they can keep the business running. And then as we recovered from this sudden crisis, or a shocking state, organizations moved toward a recovery phase, where people started looking at that, what are the risks and costs involved with this new situation that is at hand, and while people are working from home, what kind of value this working model can deliver. The good thing is that now we can move towards this new next normal, where organizations are looking at renewing this overall strategy of work from home, utilizing the opportunity that is available to drive innovation by exploiting the learnings that have been there in last 1 year. Now, work from anywhere is going to be there. It's a global trend. It's proven now that work from anywhere works, and this is what we need going forward, right? So the number speaks for itself, that 17, while there were only 17% of people earlier working from home, and during peak times it has gone up to 76%. And as per multiple surveys, this number is looking like somewhere between 70-74%, as per Gartner, somewhere around 85%, where people would want and demand this flexible work policy so that they can work from anywhere, right? And this is not specific to developed countries only. Developed countries already had a good work from home policy, almost like if you look at UK and US numbers, somewhere between 35 to 40% workforce was always working from home. And they also will see a significant rise in the people who will start working from home full time. And the countries where work from home was not very prominent, they will also start embracing work from home. Now, with the work from home, definitely it poses a lot of security risks, right? And as we know that now almost all of the infrastructure that organizations have is being accessed by remote users. Earlier there was like you could define that, okay, how much traffic is coming over internet, and where is your workforce, so you can trust some part of it. But now when everything is coming over internet, you don't know that what traffic is legitimate and what is not. And you have your all of your assets in terms of your endpoint assets, your applications, they are being executed over internet right now. And of course this gives a large threat vector for for hackers to exploit this scenario. Just the RDP protocol, which is a very common protocol in use within organizations, has seen 4x brute force attacks over this protocol itself, right? And overall effectiveness of the IT security posture of the organization has gone down from 71% to 4% as per the survey, right? And this is attributed to mostly the lack of physical security that is available with the end users. That means now the end users and the insider threats have increased. the endpoints are vulnerable, they are unpatched, and they are very easy to target right now. There are a lot many BYOD devices that are coming and accessing the corporate application, exposing the corporate network to various type of attacks, right? And there are various other issues, including not having enough security budget pre-hand to make sure that all type of solutions can be deployed. Now, the pre-COVID scenario, it was a fairly simple architecture. I mean, at that time, if you would ask, people say that, okay, our infra is complex and there are a lot more security issues. But now I think we have a new meaning of being complex and, being vulnerable, right, in these times. So pre-COVID, we still had a much simpler approach. You buy a PC, install apps, users start working on it, give them network. One approach worked for most of the users, right? And there were many traditional tools available to manage the PCs, manage the security postures of the endpoints, right? There was still too much end user dependencies, but it was fairly still, manageable, right? And there are a lot many tools available, right? You have, upgrade tools like SCCM or endpoint management tools, NQRS, DLP, EDR, XDR, and web proxies, and you could even go and implement biometric authentication with MFA, right? So all these tools worked very well in the traditional scenario, and we never worried about what is the size of Windows update, right? What is the size of antivirus updates? These were very less of a concern at that time, because the network was good, everything was within that physical boundary of the enterprise. Come COVID, and when you have large distributed workforce, all these issues started coming up. So the new challenges that the IT team now face is that there are very large number of unpatched distributed endpoints, and that creates a very large threat vectors, right? It is also difficult to install security agents on BYOD devices. I mean, you cannot go and enforce an antivirus or a DLP or a web proxy policy on users' personal devices, right? There is a significant lack of contextual access, because earlier the only context was if you're connected to the physical network, you are trusted, right? And there were very few applications which actually had contextual access kind of functionality. In fact, many large organizations also do not have a seamless contextual access policy or infrastructure across their apps. And not many many traditional tools just did not work over this remote work scenario. As simple as Windows update is a big issue, and you have to really change your IT infrastructure to make just Windows updates work. A lot of endpoint security agents are also signature based, and we know that, okay, what kind of attacks that are happening on the organizations, and most of the security agents they fail to detect that. They can detect a lot of it, but they do fail to detect a lot of new attacks as well. Also, when users have access to apps, they are authorized to access these apps and the data that is available. That means now the users can actually very easily copy that data and create a local copies on their devices. And if it is BYOD, your data is pretty much gone, right? And there is always this tussle between the users requiring more flexibility, more ease of use, versus the IT needing more security and putting all those restrictions. Now, this problem is going to just increase multiple fold, because we are not just talking about a number that, oh, 30% or 70% people will be working remotely. Imagine the different policies that the organizations are working on, right? I mean, this is a Gartner survey which says only 15% employees wants to come and always work from office, whereas 25% wants to always work from home, and 55% population wants to have this hybrid policy that they can come to office, work there for a few days, and then work from home for a few days. That means you don't have, you have almost like 85% of workforce which will be switching between their workplaces, right? Pretty much these home users also will have to travel and come to office maybe for some things, right? So it's not that we have to care for a smaller section of the workforce that is going to be remote, and they need to be taken care of, but we are going to have a much more hybrid workspace workforce which will keep on switching. And that means organizations have to start looking at that everybody is a remote worker, including these 15% employees, right? So it doesn't matter where they are, let's start treating everybody as a remote worker. And that means it will be required to deliver this one compliant corporate workspace, to the user so that they can seamlessly work from anywhere. Now, what is also important is to identify that what are going to be different user needs, because there are multiple user profiles in every organizations. You have executives, you have BPO users, voice users, you have task users, and vendors and developers, and they have different needs. And maybe based on the ROI that they deliver to the organizations, you may or may allow them remote work, or you may have to give them different type of solutions. For example, developers always need maximum flexibility. They need admin rights on their machine, they need more flexibility, and you have to give them something. So they also do have access to critical data, so you have to give them a secure workspace, but then still have control over the data. The vendors, they are working pretty much from their own locations. Maybe the vendor does not have the right policies, and vendors will always have access to certain critical data which the organizations want to protect always. So different user profiles will need different user experience, and they will have different security profiles as well. Coming to the application wise categorization in the same scenario, every organization has got certain critical apps where the data is of high importance and it always need to be protected. And at times there are legacy applications which are difficult to manage on the endpoint, difficult to deploy, difficult to upgrade, and they have a lot of vulnerabilities as well. And that means there is a need to isolate these applications from the endpoints and the network, and have a very role-based access and an isolated kind of access available to such applications. Whereas web applications or non-critical applications, they pretty much need a network access. It has to be role-based access with multi-factor authentication or a contextual access policy, but they can be delivered directly from the endpoint. The SaaS apps which are available over internet, they can be just accessed by anybody, and that means there is a higher need of a conditional access or a contextual access kind of scenario with centralized identity and role-based management. And finally, the internet access, which is another critical application, that when users work from home, what to do about the internet access for such users, right? So there are different type of solutions available to take care of application delivery needs, for these different applications. For example, you have VDI, which gives you a secure, isolated corporate workspace environment. And then you have ZTNA based access solutions, which will provide you secure access with conditional access, maybe multi-factor authentication combined with that. And then you have IAM and CAS-based solutions for SaaS applications, which are now mandatory. And then for internet access, you can have web proxies, right? So looking at that, okay, how in future when organizations are thinking strategically for this work from home scenario, what are the different application delivery approach organizations can take, right? So and this is on a scale of that how much control the IT team can have to better manage this infrastructure, and what level of risk this poses to the organizations. So a virtual apps or a virtual desktop kind of scenario, which is IT managed, gives the maximum level of control to the IT team so that they can better manage and better secure this environment, and gives and has a very low risk profile to the organization. And the next is the office PC access, which is remotely accessing the office PCs. That also has a fairly good control of, by the IT team, and the risk levels are also moderate. Whereas if we coming to applications executing locally on the endpoint device and access is given through access gateway or ZTNA, they give lesser amount of control to the IT team, because now the applications have to be installed, managed, configured on the endpoint device. The data is there, and then it poses higher level of risk as well. So based on this, you can choose that, okay, which model will work for which profile and what approach you want to go ahead with. Now, always the end users will always need an endpoint as well. And with endpoints also, there are multiple approaches, again, in terms of the control that IT will have and the risk that it poses. So a managed device, which is corporate owned, corporate managed device with VDI, gives the most secure experience, to the end users, as well as, give the most security to the organization. And a managed device with local apps is still secure, fairly, low risk, and it gives a secure device kind of feeling, to the end users, that they have a device, they can compute locally, but the device is still secured. The third level is where BYOD is embraced. BYOD is allowed, but then the organization can deliver their corporate workspace through VDI or server-based computing, right? And that's where the approach will be securing the applications and data and not really the device, because that is owned by the user, right? And same way, remote control to office PC can be given. And finally, at a higher risk level are where the user has got their personal devices, it is unmanaged, and access to the network is given through ZTNA or local application. They will always pose higher risk to the organization and give very, very low control to the IT team as well. Now, so if you look at like any organization who now want to go from a tactical approach to more strategical approach, you have to look at that. You need one work from anywhere solution, which is very comprehensive, which takes care of all the user profiles that we just spoke about, all application delivery approaches, and all end computing approaches as well, so that you have one solution to deliver or handle all of your users, and they can seamlessly flip or switch between different profiles as well, or different locations or different endpoints, and the overall management and everything is integrated and simplified, right? The solutions have to be integrated as well, so that the rollout is faster, the change management is easier. And finally, the solution has to be cost effective, so that the ROI can be delivered to the organization. One of the big issue that most of the companies are going to face is that not one single vendor provides all the kind of solutions that we're talking about, and that means there are always going to be multiple vendors, and the licensing is then complex, right? So it is required to choose solutions or strategies where fewer vendors are involved and licensing is easier, right? Talking about ECOPS, so we are a company building technology solutions in remote productivity areas, and we are your partner in making work from home work for you, right? So the three things that we bring to the table is agility in terms of the solution and features, the flexibility in terms of licensing and cost, and the policies, and affordability in terms of our cost, right? So we have got four main technologies that we provide. First is end user computing virtualization, where we can virtualize the corporate workspace and deliver virtual desktops or virtual apps. Second is a zero trust network access gateway, which provides secure connectivity between wherever the users are, and works on ZTNA principles. And third is strong identity management features, through which we provide multi-factor authentication, identity federation, and finally our own endpoint hardware, wherever and whenever the workforce needs the endpoints, right? So there we can provide the endpoints as well. And we are not just providing the technology solution, but we are focusing on providing the right type of services as well, so that we help the organizations in designing, planning, and consulting to build this work from anywhere solution, which is effective, which is secure, and delivers value to the organization. Right. So the overall solution that we provide is, we call it ECOPS Digital Workspace, which is a bundled solution suite. And through that, we can deliver access to any application which is running within the data center. We can virtualize the app, or we can deliver a virtual desktop running on any hypervisor and deliver that secure compliant workspace. Or we can deliver any internal applications like web applications or legacy applications, a client server application, that also can be delivered through our ZTNA gateway. We can also deliver the same infrastructure even if it is deployed in any public cloud as well. And for SaaS application, we can deliver identity federation and multi-factor authentication, right? Briefly about the company, we were established in 2012. We are headquartered in Pune. We are a cash flow positive company. We are the only digital workspace technology company from India, recognized by DSCI, NASSCOM, and RBI. We have around 600 plus enterprise customers. Majority of them are in India. That's our home market. And then we are present in Japan, Middle East. We have some partners in Tunisia, and now we are growing in the Eastern Africa as well. Right, so these are few of our reference customers. We have been servicing our customers, pre-COVID as well, where we were selling compliant workspace solution majorly to the BFSI, industries, because for them it's regulation. But of course, during COVID, a lot more organizations, are able to benefit, from our solutions. Right. that's it, from my side. I hope I could cover this within, the time frame.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yadav. Thank you for joining us at the World Cybersecurity Summit, Africa. We really valued your presence today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavna.